Today's an excellent day for cyanotypes. The sun is shining beautifully. I have some leftover solution that's gotten kind of darkened, and I'm using a little Sumi Japanese painting brush. And I have these neat little outlines of poppies, so I'm going to kind of use them as my guide to create some line drawings with my cyanotype solution, and then put them out in the sun and see what I get. So the solution I'm using has darkened quite a bit. I could still use it to make traditional cyanotypes, but I thought it would be fun to try this. I'm using just a printmaking paper. I think it's Strathmore. I'll have to check that out. And these little drawings as my guide. Just doing some quick little sketches. Little outline sketches. Oops. Oh well, a little more dot than I planned on. That's okay. I'll just kind of use it to create texture, because it will soak into your paper almost immediately, so you just have to kind of go with it. I'm going to leave some areas with a little more cyanotype solution than others, just to see how much difference that might make on the overall effect that I get. Oh, I had a little bud here. Let me see if I can grab that little bud. So these will now go out. I'm not going to put anything over them. I'm just going to put them out. Right now it's not windy today. It's very still. If it were windy, I would tape the paper down so that it doesn't blow around in the wind. I'm going to put these out in the sun, and I'm going to expose them until everything is completely dry, so that there's no wet cyanotype, because I don't want any smearing when I rinse. This is one that I've had out in the sun for a little while. It's almost completely dry, and it's large and fills almost the entire sheet of printmaking paper. You can see that it's getting kind of a golden brown. This is the one that I just demonstrated painting. It's turning dark. It's getting that dark, almost blue-black look, and it is still very wet. I can see a lot of puddling, so I'm going to let them both dry. This one is almost ready for rinsing. It just needs a few more minutes. There's really no way you can overexpose these because you're printing with the chemicals themselves. Okay, these are completely dry now. They're a very dark, kind of a brownish color. And I have this on an old cutting board that I no longer use. On a little tabletop, and I'm going to be using my garden hose, but at a very, very low amount of water spray. I'm going to rinse until no more blue cyanotype solution is washing off. So once my water runs completely clear, then I'm going to tip it to get most of the water off, and then I'm going to set it in a shady location to dry. Right now the color looks very light, but usually as it dries, it deepens somewhat. Right now the sun has gone behind some clouds, so I may or may not get a really deep blue. This is the one that I demonstrated with. So it's the second drawing, and it too has that golden brown color. And it's actually rinsing off with a little bit of the golden brown as well as the blue. But here comes the excess. So the excess chemicals need to be rinsed off completely. So I'll continue gently pouring water over this. Until it's completely clear as I rinse it. I'm working outside. You can probably hear the roadside traffic because it's a beautiful day. You can do this indoors. I sometimes will set up a tub in the sink in the kitchen to do this. The chemicals themselves can be washed down the drain. I just try to minimize that in the house when I can, but in the wintertime, in the colder months, I do use the kitchen sink as my rinsing. Okay, this looks good, so I'm going to set this aside for a little while. Okay, these are dry now, and it came out pretty good. I have some darker areas, some lighter areas. It's pretty much the same with this one. And I think what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more cyanotype solution to areas that I'd like to have a little bit darker. Just to add a little more. A little more color in a few spots, since I'm experimenting anyway. And then I'll put them out until they're completely dry again. Rinse the same way and see what happens. Okay, here is the results of that second layer of cyanotype solution. I did get a little more dark edging in a few places, kept some places light, and overall I think it has a lot of potential for future use. This is the other one that I did. I tried seeing if a gel pen would work, but I'm not seeing a lot of outlining showing up, so I'm going to have to rethink what I want to do with that. But overall, I think this was kind of a fun thing to do, and it has a lot of potential for some future project ideas. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a whirl. When I came back to it this morning, I decided to cut out those individual pieces, those little flowers, and experiment with using them on a background that I had made several weeks ago. So it's still a work in progress, but it might give you an idea for something you can do with your own cyanotype drawings.